In this video, we will bring to you 3 works by various speakers on the subject of spirituality. Our first speaker is Amanda Trent.
Spiritually seeing faith. There can be no natural world here for us without at least a spiritual sense of faith. Faith in the reality beyond what we see with our familiar eyes. Spiritually, seeing faith is what we mean by we cannot live by bread alone, lose our interest. This can happen when we lose interest in the forces that be and need something more than life deals out at the time. We want to feel the real pulse of life. We want to discover through the magic a loving will working out a purpose. We want to know that our costly loyalties, our high endeavors, and our sacrifices, which make the quivering flesh palpitate with pain, really matter to someone and fill up what is behind of his great suffering for love's sake. Religion. We cannot get on here with substitutes. We must have the reality itself. Some people have said that religion is all a charade that makes one believe he sees truth when he is being fooled by a picture. We must, at all costs, insist on the real things. It is God we want and not another, the natural face and not a picture. He is there to be seen, like my mountain. Days may pass when we only hope and long and guess. Then the weather comes right, the veil thins away, and we see. It is, however, not a rare privilege reserved for a tiny few. It is as natural as breathing. Only one must of all things intend to do it. There will always be in the world a vast number of persons who take the most comfortable form of religion which their generation affords. They are not path breakers. They have nothing in their nature which pushes them into the fields of discovery. They are satisfied with the religion which has come down to them from the past. They accept what others have won and tested, and are thankful to be saved from the struggle and fire of first-hand experience and fresh discovery. On the contrary, the prophet can never take this easy course at any age. He cannot rest content with the forms of religion which are accepted by others. He cannot enjoy the comforts of the calm and settled faith which those around him inherit and adopt. His soul forever hears the divine call to leave the old mountain and go forward, to conquer new fields, to fight recent battles, to restate his faith in words that are fresh and vital, in terms of the most profound life of his time. We used to think that many people still believe that a prophet is a foreteller of future events, a magical and miraculous person who speaks as an oracle and announces, without knowing how or why, far off, future occurrences are communicated to him. To think this is to miss the more profound truth of the prophet's mission. He is primarily a religious patriot, a statesman with a moral and spiritual perspective, policy for the nation. He is a person who sees what is involved in the eternal nature of things and, therefore, what the outcome of a course of life is bound to be. He possesses an unerring eye for curves of righteousness or unrighteousness, as the talented artist has for lines of beauty and harmony, or as the great mathematician has for the completing lines of a curve, involved in any given arc of it. He is different from others, not because he has ecstasies and lives in the realm of miracles, but because he has a more apparent conviction of God than most men have. He has found him to be the center of all reality. He reads and interprets all history in the light of the undeniable fact of God, and he estimates life and deeds in terms of moral and spiritual laws, which are as inflexible as life itself. He sees that this is a universe of a moral and spiritual order that it was intended to be. I hope my Spiritually Seeing Faith video will help you. By Amanda Trent.
Our next speaker is Adam O'Brien.
Spirituality reflection. It is with pleasure that I share my spirituality reflection with one and all via this video. Over the years, I have become more spiritually aware. My spiritual life was primarily centered around my religion when I was younger. When I pray, it is not always about my religion. Sometimes it is just about my feelings of being connected to a higher power or connection to the universe. Now, do you see the benefit of spirituality? If you are not a member of a religious community, but you have a strong feeling that there is something more going on in the universe than what you can see with your own eyes, then you may be a spiritual person. When I pray, even if I don't feel like I am following a specific pattern or path, I still come away feeling that I am part of something bigger than myself. That, to me, is what spirituality is all about. In my case, my spiritual life was centered on my mother's side of the family tree. I didn't know she was Jewish, but she was very spiritual and taught me more about her beliefs and spirituality than most of my friends did. My spiritual life moved along the same path, a little bit at a time. But now I am not sure what it means to me. The main lesson is this: you have to choose what it means to you. My mother is not Jewish, so there was no transparent Jewish element to my life before that. However, my life has been enriched by my understanding of Jewish philosophy and spirituality. Therefore, what it means to me is much different from what it means to my mother. Many articles have been written about this spiritual aspect of your personal life. For example, I discussed how some people often confuse spirituality with being religious in one piece. I wrote that it is essential not to get caught up in definitions or concepts of religion, but to focus instead on the heart and soul. To truly grasp the essence of what it means to me, it is essential to understand its meaning for everyone else, including those who are not religious. Another essential aspect to consider when studying spirituality is examining what you want in your personal life. Some people are content to let go of their spiritual beliefs and follow the lead of their church leader if that's what their religious community prescribes. They don't care what it means to others. They would like to live a simple, uncomplicated, uncommitted life. However, what they discover about their fellow man and themselves ultimately defines their spirituality. They may discover that they have to make changes in their lives because they no longer live according to their religious dictates. Or they may find out that their spiritual life is no longer fulfilling to them either. Either way, their spirituality will be tested as they move through their lives. It is essential to recognize when you are on the right path. And of course, remember, spirituality is all about discovering yourself. The first step is to decide what that is for you. Then find ways to stay on course. That includes having an unshakable faith in yourself and your purpose in life. When you do that, you'll always know what it means to be a good, honest, genuine person, with integrity and without pretense. As a child, I remember how my spiritual values and connection with God changed my life. When I was a teenager, my parents divorced, and the emotional hurt and confusion prompted me to find peace by finding God. I discovered that there are many ways to find God in your life, and that the process can be a journey. I found that the trip was not about finding God, but about getting God to where I am today. How has your spirituality changed your life? One way your spirituality has impacted your life is through its effect on your emotions. Sometimes you might feel like you don't deserve happiness, success, or love. These things seem so far from what your heart and spirit feel for you. How can you come to believe you deserve these things in your life if you don't even know where they're coming from? This feeling is similar to the "I don't matter" feeling that some people have when they experience significant life changes. When you are a child, your parents only care about your physical well-being. It's easy to convince yourself that you'll be happy with whatever you get, as your world often revolves around your physical needs. This thinking changed my life when I accepted Christ as my Lord and Savior. When my spiritual beliefs and understanding about who I am as a person and as a spiritual being changed, I realized that my world was not complete without God. Another way your world could be changed is by how you respond to things that happen to you. If you've always been negative, you could be damaging in your dealings with other people. Or you might have been passive all your life. You might have never felt the joy and excitement that come with living in a community of others who are positively inspirational. Once you can learn how to be proactive instead of reactive, life goes in a much better direction. The most significant change in my life, which occurred when I began to understand how spirituality impacted my life, was that I started to have more patience. Many of us struggle with patience, especially when we've been given the cold shoulder by someone or something in our lives. This usually takes place during a time in life when we have been receiving many disappointments. A significant part of how my life changed was due to the patience I gained. Forbearance allows you to look at situations objectively and see things differently. The more I could let go of the judgments I had bottled up and move on, the easier it was to see what other people were trying to say to me. I also began to realize that change is only temporary. Whether you believe it or not, everyone has a limited amount of time to live their life. If you live your life in fear, you will never achieve your goals. If you're going to live a new life, you have to release yourself from the old ways of thinking and living. Spirituality also made it easier for me to forgive others who had caused me pain. This is another crucial aspect of how spirituality changed my life. Forgiveness is a great way to heal divisions in your heart, so don't hold back if you feel the need to forgive. I'm always open to learning new things because my life has changed. If I had never tried to implement change, I would still be the same person I was on my life journey, and that would not be very inspiring. By Adam O'Brien.
Thank you for watching my video. I wish you all the love in the world. Till the next time, God bless.